The quiet morning calm belies a danger that unfolds all too often on the English Channel. Not far offshore, a border patrol boat scans the horizon. It's looking for this, small boats bursting with migrants crossing from France to the UK. Nearly 8,000 people have made the journey this year, close to 4 times the total of last year.
This has become a very dangerous route into the UK that's being exploited by human smugglers and traffickers.
It became deadly late last month when a boat capsized off the French coast. A Kurdish family of 5 fleeing Iran died.
Now coming across
This former border force chief says the government has vowed to crack down on smugglers.
The UK government's stated intention is to make this route unviable. It will no longer be viable for people to do this, to come via the English Channel in small boats. And that's why we are continuing to work very closely with our colleagues on the French side.
Because of the increased numbers this year, hundreds are being housed in facilities like the old military barracks in Folkestone. It was home to Canadian troops during the First World War, where the area served as a staging group for tens of thousands, before heading off to fight on the Western Front.
And the people of Kent are...
Now, more than 100 years on, advocates for migrants say they are run down and overcrowded.
We'd like to see people move to appropriate accommodation. We'd like to see claims being processed really quickly. We'd like to see people arriving who've claimed asylum have the right to work.
Go back.
Not everyone in the community agrees, and it's led to tension.
This barrack should be housing our homeless veterans, not illegal immigrants.
We don't want you here.
For weeks, protesters have been a disruptive presence, yelling at migrants to go home. Many of the people arriving are desperate and fleeing dangerous conflict zones in places like Iraq, Yemen, and Syria.
I've made it after almost 2 months from leaving Syria.
Ahmed al-Rashid's journey 5 years ago was documented by the BBC. He crossed the channel in the back of a truck organized by smugglers. Today, he recounts just how dangerous it was.
After like 7 hours, we all started to suffocate. It was total darkness, no air, we couldn't see anything.
But he says it was worth it. His family joined him once he was settled. He wants people to understand why so many make the risky journey.
I wanted a place for my children to grow up where when I go to bed, I don't have to worry about them, being bombed or shelled or killed or kidnapped or raped, like what happened in many places in Syria and in Iraq.
Refugees are welcome here.
And it's empathy for stories like his, which drew hundreds to a welcome rally outside the barracks in Folkestone, determined to counter the anti-migrant narrative.
I feel like it's very important to welcome people to coming to the country, just to make them feel safe.
A message of support for the dozens of new arrivals waiting to find out if they will be able to call the UK home. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, Folkestone, England.